morning. I'd like to start by telling you a little story. So when I was in 3rd grade, my friends and I came up with this concept of the deep, dark secret, or DDS for short. And the idea was we had these little hand signals that would remind us of these secrets that we had with each other. And the more of these secrets you had, kind of the more popular you were, right? So one day, my friend Nikki and I were sitting on the bus, and we were dancing along and singing to Madonna. And we decided, you know what, let's make this into a DDS. So we came up with one. It was this. That's how 3rd graders dance, right? And so throughout the next week, I felt really cool because I would walk down the street, down the hallway, and I would say, "Hey, Nikki, DDS." And she would do that back, and I was, really cool. Well, at the end of the week, I thought, what really was that secret about? I kind of want to share that. So I shared it with my friend Katie, and of course it got back to Nikki that I told our special secret. And I learned from that lesson, never to tell this secret, tell or share secrets with other people. It was a very valuable lesson, and I'm sure maybe you all have experienced this in your life as well. So if you all have learned this, and I've learned this, then why is it that we're seeing many businesses that are actually doing exactly the opposite? They're sharing their business secrets and their processes. If we learn not to do this, why are they doing this? This is exactly what's happening. I'm seeing this every day. I'm seeing small businesses and large businesses really sharing with each other. I'd like to introduce to you the idea of co-opetition, and as Bob Corrigan says, we need to have some context. So about 5 years ago, my business partner Charles and I were trying to explain the concept of Affinity Lab to somebody. And I was saying, it's very cool. We see all these businesses, and they're sharing, and they're working together, and it's really this, they're really engaging in this, what is it? Co-opetition. And I looked at Charles, and I was like, did I just create a word? Well, it turns out the word co-opetition and the concept have actually been around for about 100 years, so I by no means invented it. But it really worked to describe what we do at Affinity Lab. And just to give you a little bit of a definition, the idea of co-opetition is when 2 businesses in the same industry work together on something that is not their core competency. So for example, say you have car company A that specializes in minivans, and you have car company B that specializes in sports cars, and they decide that they want to get together to create a truck vehicle because they both want one for their line, but it's not their core competency, so they're not diminishing their main offering. So they work together on research and development and things like that, and it ends up being successful for both of them. Well, what we're really seeing is, I see a lot of this every day. I see this with small businesses that are working together, and I see it as being a really successful way of doing business and a really great way of working together. So if this is a really great way of working together, why isn't everybody doing it? Well, I feel like we've kind of gotten into a little bit of trouble with our corporations with the way they've been structured. And I feel that the movie, The Corporation, that came out a couple years ago does a really good job of explaining why this is. The filmmakers took the personality of a corporation and they actually ran it through a human personality test. And what they discovered was very interesting. If a corporation were a person, it would be a psychopath. Psychopaths have difficulty making and maintaining friendships. They lie and cheat, sometimes particularly to get money. And they have a blatant disregard for the well-being of others. So personality-wise, we as humans, we're actually naturally, those of us that are fairly sane at least, naturally like to collaborate. So the formation of a corporation is actually kind of foreign to our natural want to collaborate with each other. And I feel that the idea of co-opetition actually helps to solve this problem because it really encourages us to open up and share. And I've seen a number of rewards from engaging in co-opetition, and I'd like to share 3 specific rewards with you today. My friend Danielle, who is a makeup artist here in DC, says that she finds the best way to improve the quality of her makeup work is to actually share her tips and tricks with other makeup artists. She finds that the reward far outweighs any detriment of having somebody else actually know the same tricks that she does, and she gets so much great feedback on how to improve, on how to make changes, and by working together with other artists who may be considered her competition, she actually finds that it improves her business very much. So with the quality of your business, you'll find that it'll actually go up by sharing it with somebody else in your industry. We have a business at Affinity Lab who says that when you're engaging in co-opetition, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2 anymore. It can equal 3 or 5 or even 11. When you're partnering with another company, you can go out and get a much larger contract, and even if you split that contract in half, oftentimes it's much larger than what you'd be able to get on your own. And this is something that I see every day. I see web developers working together, web development companies that come together, they partner, they get a really large contract, and it's so much more than they could do on their own. So the financial gain is tremendous by engaging in co-opetition. When you're really worried about keeping your trade secrets all the time, it doesn't allow you to really free yourself to work on something larger. And if you read Dan Pink's book that just came out in the last several months, Drive, he taught us that people are really motivated by more than just money. Money happens to be kind of a byproduct of the way that we work, but it's not what motivates us long term. Employees are motivated by autonomy, then they're really motivated by feeling like they're working for something larger than themselves. So if you're really stuck on this idea of I need to keep everything in this little box and I can't share it, it keeps you from being able to do this, look at this bigger why of why you're really in business in the first place, and really help your employees to feel this as well, and it creates a significantly better workplace. If you need a good example of this, I would suggest you find out a little bit more about Zappos. They do a great job of creating a really fantastic customer experience, but also their corporate culture is just amazing. So I feel like there are a number of rewards that come with co-opetition. And I'd like to give you some tips on how to engage in co-opetition yourself. And the first thing I would say is try out a partnership with another company or somebody else within your industry. Just test it out. Set up a boundary in a way that makes you comfortable, and work together on a project and just catalog all the rewards that you get out of it, because I guarantee you will see a number of rewards, both financial and things that actually improve your business from internally. The second thing is to make sure to share your services and your ideas with somebody in the industry, whether it's just one person or whether it's a full company. Sit down with somebody and say, this is how I do things. How do you do things? And maybe we can kind of chat about, the best way to do things, and it'll definitely improve the quality of your services or your products. And the third thing is to make co-opetition a habit. Twyla Tharp, who's a very famous choreographer, is an expert in collaboration, and she says that it's something that she practices every single day. So it's something that you get used to. You learn your own personal habits, and you learn how to work with other people. You learn how to remove your ego a little bit, and you learn how to kind of communicate in a good way that facilitates co-opetition. I really feel that the concept of co-opetition is our chance, it's the antidote against these psychotic corporations. So I really encourage you all to try it out in your own life. And the first step to engaging in co-opetition is to make sure that you've met your neighbor here at TEDxPotomac. So please make sure you've met your neighbor and that you've tell them a little bit about your life and about your business. Thank you.